Who here loves when their nails are done perfectly? Me. I'm Sarah Gibson Tuttle, and I started Olive in June because let's be real, we all deserve to have gorgeous nails, but who wants to spend a fortune or half their day at the nail salon? That's why I created the Gel Mani system, so you can have that salon-quality gel manicure right at home. And guess what? The best part, each mani only costs $2. Yep, you heard me, $2. No more $60, $70, $80 salon trips that eat up your day. Now you can paint your nails whenever you want, wherever you want, and trust me, you're going to be obsessed with your nails, and everyone is going to ask you where you got them done. And here's a little something extra. Head over to oliveinjune.com and get 20% off your first Gel Mani system with code DIYGEL20. That's code DIYGEL20 for 20% off your first Mani system at oliveinjune.com/DIYGEL20.
You know Hannah and I love a good bed rotting session, reality TV, snacks nearby, and now I've leveled up with my self-care game with this Shark Beauty Cryo Glow, the #1 skincare facial device in the U.S.
Wait, I'm obsessed with it. I've had it for a while, actually, and it's the only mask that combines high-energy LEDs, infrared, and under-eye cooling. I really need this because nothing wakes me up in the morning. You could do 4 treatments in one. Better aging, skin clearing, skin sustain, and my favorite, the under-eye revive with Insta-Chill Cold Tech. You put it on, and it just feels so good under your eyes. Like, I actually feel like I got 8 hours of sleep.
It's truly like a luxury spa moment while you're literally horizontal. It's perfect for post-workout, Sunday scaries, or when you just want to glow while rotting.
So treat yourself to the #1 LED beauty mask this holiday season. Go to sharkninja.com and use promo code Giggly Squad for 10% off your Cryo Glow. That's sharkninja.com and use promo code Giggly Squad for 10% off your Cryo Glow.
Are you noticing your car insurance rate creep up even without tickets or claims? You're not alone. That's why there's Jerry, your proactive insurance assistant. Jerry handles the legwork by comparing quotes side by side from over 50 top insurers, so you can confidently hit buy. No spam calls, no hidden fees. Jerry even tracks rates and alerts you when it's best to shop. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Don't settle for higher rates. Download the Jerry app or visit jerry.ai/ACAST today.
Who here loves when their nails are done perfectly? Me. I'm Sarah Gibson Tuttle, and I started Olive in June because let's be real, we all deserve to have gorgeous nails, but who wants to spend a fortune or half their day at the nail salon? That's why I created the Gel Mani system, so you can have that salon-quality gel manicure right at home. And guess what? The best part, each mani only costs $2. Yep, you heard me, $2. No more $60, $70, $80 salon trips that eat up your day. Now you can paint your nails whenever you want, wherever you want, and trust me, you're going to be obsessed with your nails, and everyone is going to ask you where you got them done. And here's a little something extra. Head over to oliveinjune.com and get 20% off your first Gel Mani system with code DIYGEL20. That's code DIYGEL20 for 20% off your first Mani system at oliveinjune.com/DIYGEL20.
You know what's wild? Most people are still overpaying for car insurance just because it's a pain to switch. That's why there's Jerry. Jerry's the only app that compares rates from over 50 insurers in minutes and helps you switch fast with no spam calls or hidden fees. Drivers who save with Jerry could save over $1,300 a year. Before you renew your car insurance policy, do yourself a favor. Download the Jerry app or head to jerry.ai/ACAST.
Hello, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Toby.
And welcome to the Whispering Woods podcast. This episode is all about
The abandoned village of Portlock.
It is Portlock, Alaska. We're going to the cold places now because we're going into winter.
Might as well just stay here.
It's actually quite warm today. Don't you think?
No.
It's like 15 degrees for November. That's quite warm.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit. I've got no idea. It's quite
40, 30.
It's quite warm. Right. We have two new patrons to give a shout out to.
Angela Johnson.
Thank you so much, Angela. I hope that's how you pronounce it, how you pronounce your name. Thank you for supporting the podcast. We really, really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
And Susan Sands. Hi, Susan. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your support.
Thank you very much.
Okay, we also, as promised, we have got a review, so I'll read this out. It's quite a long one. A wonderful podcast. The Whispering Woods podcast is a wonderful listen. I listen to it every day at work, and it helps me focus better, with Sarah's beautiful, calming, and spooky at times voice. Oh, thank you. I love the different stories and the short banter with Toby after each story. After listening for a month, I decided to subscribe to the Banshee tier to listen ad-free for both the Whispering Woods and Obscurata shows. I submitted a story from Northern Alaska, and love listening to you narrate it. I hope to submit more stories of Inupiaq, and thank you so much, Biggie, for telling me how to pronounce that correctly. Folklore and paranormal stories. Keep up the great work. And that's Viggy269. Hi, Viggy. Thank you so much for leaving that review.
Yes, thank you very much.
Right, so we have got one long story on what on earth happened in the village of Portlock.
Yeah.
I do also...
It's the one thing with the thing over there and the things over there.
I do also want to say, because we've taken away the haunted episode, but we now have a new episode on a Tuesday, which is like a classic ghost story. So if you wondered what was happening, that's what's happening. It's one of those decisions I made and then just kind of did it.
Yeah.
As you do, because it is like the season for ghost stories. And also just a reminder that Obscurata is swapping over to the Whispering Woods feed. My voice is going a bit. And we are rebranding it and changing it a bit so it's more sort of mysteries and paranormal stuff. And that will be labelled After Dark on Saturdays and Sundays, because they are for a bit of a maturer audience, although a lot of them are still suitable for children. And I'll clearly mark them if they aren't. Right, let's get into it. Are you ready? Or the story?
Yes, I am.
On the southern coast of Alaska lies an eerie ghost town swallowed by wilderness. The village of Portlock, also known as Port Chatham, was once a busy cannery and fishing outpost. But by 1950, its inhabitants had fled, leaving behind only rotting buildings and rubble. Official reports claim the town was abandoned simply because it was too remote, cut off from the new highway and modern progress. But local legend insists there was another, more sinister reason. According to decades of stories, Portlock's residents fled en masse in fear of something inhuman. A huge, hairy half-man, half-beast, said to stalk the forests and brutally attack those who wandered too far from home. This creature, known in local lore as the Nantianak, turned a quiet coastal village into the setting of a real-life horror story, one that remains unsolved and deeply unsettling to this day. Portlock's beginnings were humble, rooted in the riches of the Alaska wilderness. The area was first noted by British Captain Nathaniel Portlock in 1786, who praised the sheltered bay on his Pacific expedition. It wasn't until the early 20th century, however, that a permanent village took root. Around 1900, entrepreneurs recognised the abundant salmon runs and established a salmon cannery on the bay. A small community of Alutiiq, native Alaskans, and Russian Alutiiq Creoles grew around the cannery. Fishermen, cannery workers, hunters, and their families built a remote but thriving home here. By 1921, the village even had its own post office, a mark of stability in this far-flung corner of Alaska. Life in Portlock was hard, but generally peaceful in those early years. The village sat nestled between the North Pacific Ocean and the Kenai Mountains, a place of stark beauty and isolation. Towering spruce forests blanketed the slopes, and heavy fog and driving rain squalls frequently swept in from the sea. The area's geography was, and remains, rugged and unforgiving. There are no roads connecting Portlock to the rest of the world, only the cold ocean on one side and steep, cloud-shrouded mountains on the other. In such isolation, living off the land was a necessity. The villagers hunted dull sheep in the alpine heights and bears in the deep woods, and they harvested fish and clams from the bountiful bay. By all accounts, Portlock in the 1920s and 30s was a modest but industrious settlement, quaint, tidy, and in a beautiful setting, between the sea and snow-capped peaks. Yet even in those hopeful days, ominous stories had already begun to take root. Hints that something wasn't right in the wilderness beyond the village. The people of Portlock were not the first to sense that something dangerous lurked in the forest. Indigenous elders would later recall that strange events had haunted the area even before the cannery was built. In fact, an old company log noted that in 1905, all the native cannery workers abruptly evacuated the camp, refusing to return because of something in the woods that terrified them. They did return the following year, but this early incident was a foreshadowing of what was to come. According to local anecdotes, even decades earlier, in the 1800s, there were signs of a malevolent presence. Hunters spoke of unexplained noises echoing in the night, and the unsettling discovery of trees ripped out the ground by their roots, near a mining site. Such tales were hard to believe, and easy to dismiss as mere folklore, or the result of bears, but they circulated quietly, planting seeds of fear. One legendary account even claims that a band of Superior people who camped in Portlock's Bay in the late 19th century were driven away by cannibal giants after only a few months. The story goes that these giants raided the camp at night with brutal, inhuman strength, prompting the frightened villagers to flee the cursed bay and not return until years later. By the time the formal village was established in the 1920s, elders were already cautious. Some later remembered that strict rules were put in place for safety. A curfew at night, armed watchmen posted around the cannery and school, and an absolute ban on wandering into the forest alone, especially not on foggy days. The unspoken understanding was clear. The forest belonged to something ancient and dangerous, and villagers should intrude at their peril. It wasn't long before Portlock's quiet, industrious life was upended by a series of gruesome and unexplained incidents. In 1931, a logger named Andrew Kamluck went out to gather timber and never returned alive. When searchers found his body in the woods, they were horrified. Hamlet's head had been smashed in, reportedly by a massive piece of logging equipment. A heavy winch or pulley, far too heavy for any person to wield as a weapon. The bloody piece of machinery was found nearby, yet Hamlet's corpse lay about 10 feet away from it, as if flung aside after the killing blow. Villagers struggled to comprehend how such an accident or murder could happen. Some whispered that something incredibly strong must have struck him down. Hamlet's violent death sent a chill through the community, and it would be only the first of many dark episodes. Not long after, other men from Portlock began vanishing without a trace. According to one contemporary account, a gold prospector went out prospecting and simply never came back. No body, no sign of what happened to him. Next, a group of hunters from the cannery went into the mountains after Dole's sheep and bears and also disappeared mysteriously. Despite exhaustive search parties, no trace of the missing hunters were found. The forest seemed to simply swallow people whole. Fear took hold in the village as familiar faces kept vanishing one by one. By the late 1930s and 1940s, Portlock's population was in steady decline, with families quietly packing up to move away to safer communities. But the worst discoveries were yet to come. Rumours began to spread of bodies found mutilated in unspeakable ways. In one infamous story, a corpse was washed down a creek into the Portlock lagoon after heavy rains. The body was torn and dismembered so badly that no bare or natural accident seemed plausible. The remains looked as if they had been ripped apart by something with ferocious strength and cruelty. Other fishermen claimed that torn up human limbs occasionally drifted ashore in the tides, too damaged to be identified. Almost everyone in Portlock knew someone who had gone missing or found a terrible end. Over the years, dozens of villagers were said to have died or disappeared under these bizarre circumstances. Panic and paranoia spread through the surviving residents. Was there a serial killer loose in the woods? A rogue bear developing a taste for humans? Or was the truth something even more terrifying, tied to the old legends their elders spoke of? As the disappearances mounted, people in Portlock began to speak about the old stories and that they were coming true. Villagers reported encounters with a giant hairy creature that defied any ordinary explanation. One man, Tom Larson, had a harrowing sighting in the 1940s. He went to chop wood by the shoreline and spotted a large ape-like figure lurking on the beach, watching him from a distance. Startled, Larson ran back to grab his rifle. When he returned to the water's edge, the hairy creature was still there, standing on two legs and staring at him with eerily human-like intelligence. Inexplicably, Larson found himself frozen in fear, unable to fire his gun. The creature eventually slipped away into the trees, leaving the shaken woodcutter to wonder why he hadn't taken the shot. Encounters like Larson's solidified the locals' belief that the Nantianat was no mere legend, but a flesh and blood presence in the area. Hunters in the forest around Portlock also began coming across disturbing signs of an unknown beast. In one instance, from the 1930s, a hunting party tracking a moose in the fog saw that something else was on the trail as well. They discovered enormous human-like footprints, 18 inches long, following the same moose tracks. Higher up, they found an area of grass that had been matted down amid signs of a violent struggle, as if a life and death fight had occurred. Beyond that point, the moose's hoofprints simply vanished. In their place were only the deep imprints of the giant man-like feet, striding off toward the misty mountains. It was as if something had intercepted the 800-pound moose, killed or carried it off, and left only its own tracks behind, disappearing uphill in the swirling fog. Local folklore had a name for this suspected predator, Nontinuk. The creature was described as a Bigfoot-like wild man of the forest, half man, half beast, as one elder translated it. The very name Nontinuk hints at its ominous nature. It may derive from a Denethan Athabascan word, Nantina, meaning those who steal people. To the frightened residents of Portlock, this was no metaphor. They truly believed a towering, hairy being was stalking them, picking off villagers who strayed too far, and even dragging people away. Witnesses who claimed to have seen Nontinuk described it as an enormous, foul-smelling creature, walking on two legs like a man, yet covered in dark fur and immensely strong. Its presence was often associated with the dense fog that frequently blankets the rainforest. Elders would warn, "Don't go out on a foggy day, that's when he's walking around." Terror of the Nontinuk grew to the point that daily life in Portlock was utterly transformed by fear. According to later tellings, villagers imposed nightly curfews and took turns patrolling the outskirts with rifles after dark, listening for strange sounds in the trees. No one dared venture up into the hills to hunt or down the coast alone. The cannery itself became a fortress of light and activity, but even that was not safe on the mistiest nights. In one reported incident, on an especially foggy evening, the village was jolted awake by the frantic screams and commotion around the cannery. A shadowy intruder had broken in, ransacking equipment and supplies. It happened again on another fog-shrouded night. On the second time, the rampage ended with the cannery building going up in flames. To the traumatized townspeople, it seemed that no place was truly safe from the lurking menace. Each new disappearance, each chilling sighting, and unexplained noise in the dark only reinforced the conclusion that Portlock was under siege by something not entirely human. By the late 1940s, the community of Portlock had reached a breaking point. What had once been a village of over 30 hardy souls was steadily emptying out. Families made the painful decision to gather their children and possessions and leave behind their homes in search of safety. Neighbouring villages like Port Graham began to see an influx of former Portlock residents. According to one witness, Melania Helen Kell, who was born in Portlock in 1934, the people left over a long period of time, gradually but resolutely, because something in the forest was terrorising them beyond endurance. We left our houses and the school and started all new here. Melania recounted of her family's move up the coast. One by one, nearly every last resident fled, until by 1950, Portlock was all but deserted. The final confirmation of Portlock's demise came when its post office officially closed in 1950, marking the end of the community in government records. Only a lone postmaster reportedly stayed behind to shutter the facility, and once he departed, the forest quickly began to reclaim the settlement. The cannery and homes fell silent, windows left boarded or broken, roofs slowly collapsing under the weight of winter snow and encroaching moss. Portlock became a true ghost village, known to locals as a place best avoided. As one woman later put it, Portlock was a creepy place, and people from nearby communities would seldom dare camp or hunt near the abandoned town. The mass exodus of 1950 entered Alaskan law as a unique event, a whole town supposedly driven away by paranormal terror rather than food, famine, or economic bust. Occasional hunters or fishermen who ventured near the old village reported that the sense of menace had not lifted. In 1968, a goat hunter passing through the ruins claimed he was stalked through the woods by an unseen creature that emitted horrific piercing screams as it pursued him, nearly causing him to panic and lose his way. In another incident, in 1973, 3 hunters sought shelter among Portlock's dilapidated buildings during a 3-day storm, only to spend 3 terror-filled nights listening to heavy 2-legged footsteps and guttural snarlings circling their tent in the darkness. They emerged convinced that Nontinak still haunted the forsaken town. As late as 1990, an elderly native man from the region, upon hearing that an Anchorage paramedic had once hunted near Portlock, grabbed the young medic and urgently asked, "Did it bother you? Did you see it?" Even decades later, the fear of Portlock's something in the woods remained potent and palpable for those who grew up hearing the stories. To understand the legend of Portlock, one must appreciate the deep roots it has in indigenous folklore. The Sugpiaq, whose ancestors inhabited the coasts of the Kenai Peninsula and nearby Kodiak Island for millennia, have always believed the wilderness is shared with spirits and beings beyond the human realm. One common figure in their oral tradition is a kind of hairy man of the forest, a giant wild humanoid that lives far from the villages. In the local tongue, some refer to such a creature as Nontinak, and stories paint it as an elusive but powerful being. It is part human, as one elder explained, a person who moved to the forest away from everybody and grew enormous, hairy and solitary. Legends of similar hairy wildmen exist across Alaska and the Arctic. Alutiiq and their neighbours have various names for them, such as the Tornit or Tunrit in Inuit lore, described as a race of huge hairy people who lived in the wilderness and sometimes preyed on lone humans. The concept of this fits into this broader pattern of belief in forest monsters or spirits that should be respected and feared. Many elders treated Nontinak not as a mere animal, but as a spiritual being, perhaps a guardian of the land, or an ancient inhabitant who resents encroachment. In some tellings, Nontinak had supernatural abilities. It could move silently despite its size, vanish into shadows, or curse those who angered it. Such attributes go beyond a normal bear or ape and into the realm of the paranormal, reflecting the view that this creature was not just a biological entity, but part of the spirit world of the Alaskan wilds. Not all native accounts framed Nontinak as purely evil or bloodthirsty. Some elders described it with a measure of respect. As Port Graham elder Sally Ash recounted, the Nontinak was believed to keep to itself unless provoked, and villagers in her youth were taught to respect him, keep distance, if one was ever near Nantinak's territory. According to Ash, her uncles and grandparents spoke of Nontinak as an old, strong, tall creature with a terrible odour, who generally lived with people and then didn't want to be around them anymore, retreating into the woods unless disturbed. This perspective suggests the monster of Portlock was not some mindless killer, but possibly a reclusive forest being that became hostile only when humans intruded or failed to heed the old warnings. Regardless of interpretation, the folklore provided a cultural framework that made it easier for Portlock's residents to believe that the tragedies befalling them were the work of Nontinak, the very being their ancestors had spoken of.
Raise your hand if you want your nails to look perfect all the time. Me too. I'm Sarah Gibson Tuttle, the founder of Olive & June, and this is exactly why we created the Gel Mani system. We wanted to make it possible for everyone everywhere to give themselves a beautiful manicure at home with our tools and our gel polish that lasts up to 21 days. Each manicure with our system comes out to just $2. That's right, $2. No more $60, $70, $80 salon trips that take hours. Now you can paint your nails on your time and love them more than ever. And by the way, when people ask you where you got your nails done, you're going to proudly brag that you did them yourself. And here's a little something extra. Head over to oliveandjune.com and get 20% off your first Gel Mani system with code DIYGEL20. That's code DIYGEL20 for 20% off your first Mani system at oliveandjune.com/DIYGEL20.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I don't know if you've heard, but Mint's premium wireless is $15 a month. But I'd like to offer one other perk. We have no stores. That means no small talk. Crazy weather we're having. No, it's not. It's just weather. It is an introvert's dream. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan. $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
I'll say it again. I do believe in Bigfoot.
Yeah.
What do you want to call it?
What, Samsquan?
Yeah, I bet people would love to hear you say that because you haven't said it for years. So what do you think?
Yeah, but...
It is scary, actually. I find that really scary because I can imagine you being so removed from everybody else in this tiny little village with only your people, like your tribe, looking after you. And to be faced with something in the forest. It's a bit like this film called The Village. I love that film. It reminds me of that, but there was something in the forest.
I'd smoke them, mate.
You'd be out there with guns raised, wouldn't you?
Nah, not with no guns, just my fists.
Oh, okay. Fists on Bigfoot.
Legs. Muay Thai.
I've got to say, Toby's been working out. He's become a bit of a gym buddy now. And he's doing lots of lifts, I was going to say. Lots of weights and stuff like that. You're loving it, aren't you?
Yeah, mate.
Getting ready to kick those.
And then I'm going to train MMA when I get older.
Yeah.
In, like, some mountains in, like, Thailand or something.
Nice.
Muay Thai in it.
And then you'll be able to kick Bigfoot butt, won't you?
And a beat that man, Bears. Well, that's the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed, and we'll catch up with you again soon.
We will indeed. We will catch you again tomorrow for the ghost story. Take care, everyone.
Goodbye.
If you're a smoker or vapor, ready to make a change, you really only need one good reason. But with Zyn nicotine pouches, you'll discover many good reasons. Zyn is America's #1 nicotine pouch brand. Plus, Zyn offers a robust rewards program. There are lots of options when it comes to nicotine satisfaction. But there's only one Zyn. Check out zyn.com/find to find Zyn at a store near you. Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
You know, Hannah and I love a good bed rotting session, reality TV, snacks nearby, and now I've leveled up with my self-care game with this Shark Beauty Cryo Glow, the #1 skincare facial device in the U.S.
Wait, I'm obsessed with it. I've had it for a while, actually, and it's the only mask that combines high-energy LEDs, infrared, and under-eye cooling. I really need this because nothing wakes me up in the morning. You could do 4 treatments in one. Better aging, skin clearing, skin sustain, and my favorite, the under-eye revive with Insta-Chill Cold Tech. You put it on, and it just feels so good under your eyes. Like, I actually feel like I got 8 hours of sleep.
It's truly like a luxury spa moment while you're literally horizontal. It's perfect for post-workout, Sunday scaries, or when you just want to glow while rotting.
So treat yourself to the #1 LED beauty mask this holiday season. Go to sharkninja.com and use promo code Giggly Squad for 10% off your Cryo Glow. That's sharkninja.com and use promo code Giggly Squad for 10% off your Cryo Glow.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.